What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Today I'm doing a food or snack review. I've got 3 items that I picked up from a local health food store yesterday, and I want to explain from a nutrition coach's point of view why I picked these up, if they're actually tasty for my taste buds, and whether or not I would recommend them if you were a client of mine. We're going to dive right in. We have 3 items today. The first is Pulp Chips. I saw this and immediately my mind was like, oh my God, pulp is the thing that we're typically missing from a lot of the juices that people really tend to gravitate towards when they're thinking I need healthy micronutrients and I need the vitamins and the minerals. But the thing that's missing a lot of times is if it's not freshly squeezed and containing that pulp is the pulp. So I saw these pulp chips and they caught my eye and I went, I have to try these. First thing I did was flip over the bag, and it is per serving 140 calories, 8 grams of fat, 17 grams of carbs, 5 grams of fiber, which is fantastic, and 2 grams of protein. Typically, your average chip is only going to have 1, maybe 2 grams of protein per serving, even if it's an organic chip. Like, just because something's organic doesn't necessarily mean it's going to have all the vitamins and minerals and nutrients in it for you. Looking at the ingredient list here, the first thing is a vegetable blend containing romaine, spinach, kale, collards, green leaf, green chard, spring mix, arugula, cucumber, parsley, celery, and or fennel, then sunflower and or safflower oil, cassava flour, tapioca flour, okara flour, white vinegar, chia seeds, and sea salt. This is the sea salt flavor. We're going to give it a try. If you guys are watching the video, then you can see kind of what these look like, what the bag looks like. I will put links in the show notes and the description. Okay? All right. So it's a square shape. It looks like it's got a bunch of seeds in it. The bag smells fresh. It doesn't smell like a bunch of vegetables. But I recognize that some of y'all think that my taste buds are different. But let's see. Huh. Honestly, it's pretty bland. Which is, I suppose, a good and a bad thing, right? Like, if it's bland, then it's not a flavor that you're not going to enjoy. You really don't taste, I mean, it's got a crunch to it. There's almost a pita bread kind of texture and flavor to it. It's pretty darn good, I have to say. Yeah, I'm going to have one more. Yeah. I like it. 130 milligrams of sodium per serving. Love that. Always trying to look for kind of lower sodium options. I still want flavor. This is good. I would dip this in salsa. I would dip this in any kind of a dip that we create. This is really good. I would recommend this. This is going to be on my recommendation list for clients who are looking for higher fiber foods. And when you're looking for a high fiber food, like a quick reminder here, if you are following the 520 rule that the FDA recommends, if it's 5% or less of the percentage daily value on that nutrition fact label, it's considered a low amount of that nutrient. If it's 20% or more, it's considered a high amount. Another way of looking at it would be if there are 5 or more grams of fiber per 15 grams of total carbs. So this is 5 grams of fiber per 17 grams of total carbs per serving. So you do need to measure out that 1 ounce serving. And it's listed as 18% of your daily fiber. So it is very high on the moderate end of the scale. So highly recommend. I might try the other flavors. These are really good. The real true test is when I go home if my husband will eat them. So Pulp Chips in Danny's eyes, we have a win. Moving on. The next item we're going to try today, the brand is called High Key, FOMO No Mo. FOMO is the fear of missing out. If y'all aren't familiar, Danny has a lot of FOMO, so she has to try everything. So these are mini cookies. Chocolate chip is the flavor. It is advertised to be a no sugar added and almond flour, grain-free, gluten-free, 1 gram of net carbs option. If I'm looking at the serving size, there are about 2 servings per container. 7 cookies in a serving size are about 1 ounce, 28 grams. Total grams of fat, 12. Total carbs, 12. Total fiber, 2. And protein, 3. Excuse me. I need to probably get a palate cleanser in between those crackers and crackers, chips. There we go. And these cookies. So, what do we think? They kind of look like little mini shortbreads. They're kind of cute. Let's see, right there. Yeah. I would say they're a little bit larger than the size of a quarter, and they're about a quarter of an inch thick. So, okay. They are very shortbread-like in texture. I can definitely taste the almond flour. If you know what almond flour texture is like, it's definitely there. And I can taste that this is sweetened with erythritol. So if you are not an erythritol fan, or if you notice that there's like this almost cooling sensation on the back end of eating a cookie or a sweet or a baked good that has erythritol in it, and that's not for you, then you're not going to like these. But I think they're pretty darn good. I mean, they've got coconut oil, butter, obviously the almond flour and the erythritol, the unsweetened chocolate, oligofructose, eggs, natural flavors, baking powder, hydrolyzed collagen. Love that there's some collagen in there. Cocoa butter, guar gum, xanthan gum, salt, stevia extract, monk fruit extract, milk fat, and sunflower lecithin. So it does have more ingredients than I would prefer. Like, I would prefer a home-baked cookie over something like this, but they're pretty good. If I had an allergy, if I was worried about grains or gluten or an intolerance of that nature, I would say this is an option that I would recommend trying. To have 2 grams of fiber in a serving size of cookies, that's pretty awesome. 3 grams of protein, meh. I mean, it still has 12 grams of fat, so that can add up pretty substantially. That's about 16% of your daily fat intake if you're looking at the daily value recommendations. So something to consider. I don't know that I'd buy them again because that's not my go-to, but they're okay. I mean, they would put on my list of items to recommend if somebody was looking for those specific grain-free, gluten-free, made with almond flour, no added sugar, and of course, if you enjoy the flavoring of the sweetener erythritol. All right, last but not least, today we have some seriously good gummy bears. The brand is called Behave. It's a cute little purple bag. I've had some different brands of high fiber gummies in the past, and I have enjoyed them. So I expect that this one will be the same. This particular pouch has lychee, I think it's lychee, passion fruit, and raspberry flavored gummies. And let's see. Per serving, which is the entire bag, which is great. Can't stand it when you get a small bag and it's like multiple servings. Come on, we're going to eat the whole bag. Let's be real. So 60 calories in the whole bag, 0.5 grams of fat, 30 grams of carbs, 14 grams of fiber, 1 gram of sugar, and 4 grams of protein. Ingredients are soluble tapioca fiber, allulose, kosher gelatin, chicory root fiber, natural lychee, passion fruit and raspberry flavor, citric acid, malic acid, lactic acid, plant fibers, monk fruit and vegetable juice for color, sunflower oil, carnauba wax, and that's it. So I think this is probably, pending the actual taste, a great option if you're looking for a simple way to start adding in more fiber to your day. I don't think, even though you could look at this as a fiber supplement, I don't think you should say, oh, this is going to be the problem to all, or the problem solver to all of my potentially GI or gut issues. Good scent coming from the bag as soon as I open it. Let's take a trial and a test, all in one word. So all the gummy bears are kind of the same color. So it's hard to tell. Maybe it's all 3 flavors combined into one. I'm not sure. Okay. I'd say it's good. I like it. Yeah. I like it. I think maybe this is great if you love gummy bears and you're looking for an alternative to all of that sugar. Just be cautious that you don't have any intolerance to one of the ingredients in this food. Just because it's a healthier potential option for you doesn't negate the fact that it's still processed. I love that it has 14 grams of fiber. I really enjoy the brand called Smart Sweets that has other high fiber gummies. An entire bag of those is typically 27 grams of fiber. So I think this one might be an easier brand to start with in terms of if you're not eating a lot of fiber already in your diet, you are going to be totally stopped up when you have Smart Sweets. So maybe adding in 14 grams of fiber a day or eating half a bag of these at once is not going to give you as much GI distress as it could if you were eating a bag of something like Smart Sweets that has 27 grams of fiber in it. Fiber, while most of the clients I work with initially are not taking in enough fiber, that's not something that you can add in a ton of all at once. Your body has to get used to taking in more of it. So even though you might start to feel better once you start eating a lot more fresh whole foods, if your diet does consist of mostly fast food and heavily processed food, your body's going to give you a little pushback when you start to add in some of those healthier things because it's forcing your gut to work in ways that it has not, because that processed food has the factories have been doing the work for you in terms of breaking that food down. So your body doesn't have to do as much work as it's going to have to when you add that fiber in. So I want you to take that into account. I think this is a good option. If I was going on a road trip, if I was traveling and I knew I needed something to snack on, maybe in an airport or whatnot, I would very much consider picking up a bag or two of these for my travel. So that's where we're going to wrap things up today. I have several more options of fun snacks that I found yesterday that I'm going to record for you guys. So in a future episode that'll go out in a couple of weeks, y'all will get to hear about chicken skin crisps, all seed savory crisps, and a lavender bliss calming the nerve and stress reducing tonic. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss out on that episode, make sure you are subscribed to this podcast. And if you want notifications when new podcast episodes are published, which Tuesday mornings, 6 a.m., then I want you to do this. Text the word podcast, just the word podcast, to this number, 833-432-2161. And you will be added to our text list that just gives a quick notification every time we have a new podcast episode go out so that you know that you can go listen. So that is all that we have for today. If you guys love this episode and you want more, or you have questions about different snacks, I want you to DM me or DM the gym. I'm at Danny Phillips or at TTG Sports Performance, and we will create episodes around snacks and foods that you guys have questions on or want to know if they are worth trying, or if you want to know how you would work those into your daily nutritional choices. So that's it. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye for now.